Today I wanted to take a little bit of time before I started working on the range to tell you how good this Thermion 2 XP50 really is. I tell you, the reason I put that on the thumbnail up there, I wanted you to be sure you clicked it. I wanted to get people's attention because this Thermion 2 is such a fantastic scope. It has a 640 by 480 17 micron thermal sensor that is rated at less than 25 millikelvins. And what that means is that this scope has about the best heat separation of any scope on the market. I don't know of any scope that has better heat separation than this Thermion 2 XP50. The Trail doesn't have it. I don't think any of the other competing brands has it either. So if you don't know what that means, when you talk about a millikelvin rating, it's heat separation. In other words, this Thermion can see every little twig out there that has a different temperature. If you have a leaf and a twig and there's just a fraction of a difference in the heat that it's giving off when you look through the scope, then this Thermion is going to separate it. It's going to show you a twig and a leaf.
3, 2,
a lot 1. Of scopes now, even the 640s, they have some type of software that kind of smooths everything over. Okay, so you look like you got a black cloud out there if you're running white hot, and when you see an animal, it's shiny white, or the opposite if you're running black hot. But the main thing is that the image is so good because it separates every little tiny difference in the heat that's giving off by everything that's out there that you're looking at. What that means is you can run white hot or black hot, and you get an extremely clear image. I run an XM series and an XQ50 before I got this Thermion. And when I got this Thermion, honest to goodness, I took it out the first night, and I've told you this on a video before. I put up a short video. I mean, it blew me away. I mean, I could not believe it looked so good. I've been running an XQ50 for about a year, and I thought it was a good image. The reason I got that XQ50 to begin with is because I do mostly coyote hunting. And I thought I needed that 3.5 power base magnification to make those shots out there at 200, 250 yards. Well, I got news for you. This scope is so good that when I bump it to 4 power, this scope is better on 4 power than my XQ50 was at 3.5. So as far as being a coyote hunter and using a 2x base magnification scope, I mean, you really don't have anything to worry about. If you've got $5,000, buy an XP50 Thermion 2. Don't even mess around looking at those others. If you're interested in being able to go out there and get the best image possible, hit the target, and have great videos to boot, this is a scope for you too. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but that's just the way things are. Somebody may as well tell you. People go out there and they look at the different brands and how much this one cost and how much that one cost. And, you know, a 640 in one brand is about the same price as a 640 in another, unless you get up to the real high-end scopes. Even with those high-end scopes that cost almost twice as much as this scope, I don't really think the image is that much better. Now, you get a little bit more magnification with that good image. Instead of getting 2 power, you may get 3.5 power at that good image. And yes, if you're a tournament coyote hunter and you want the very best, go ahead and spend $9,000 or $10,000 and get you that top of the line scope. But if you're like the average hunter, I tell you what, I wish 100 times I had never settled for an XQ50, as good as it was. And it was a great scope. But my only saving grace is they did not have a Thermion 2 XP50 when I bought my XQ. Now they have it. Just go sell something. If you don't have $5,000, if you've got 3,800 but you don't have $5,000, oh, just go sell a rifle. Heck, just get this XP50 Thermion 2. You will not regret it. It's easy to use. You've got the power button the magnification button and the record button right here at your fingertips. You don't have to be up here with 5 or 6 different buttons. It's right here. It's easy. Anybody can do it. I'm 74 years old. I can do it. Just right at your fingertips. It's got the magnification. You can run picture in the picture. You can run 2 power in the main screen. Run 8 power or 4 power in the picture-in-picture window, and you can make shots all day long on coyotes at 200 yards. If you don't believe me, just go back and look at a couple of videos back I just made. When I was out in Arkansas, I made 3 shots that were 200 yard plus. And, I'm not a great shot. I'm an old man out there just fumbling around in the dark. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. But this thing is so good because it's easy to use. This controller button on the side, to me, is so much easier to use than pressing a series of buttons to get where you want to go. You just push this button in one time for a fast click. It'll pop up your contrast and your brightness. You can change it right there on the fly. After you get set up, if it doesn't look good, change it. You can do it in 3 or 4 seconds. A long press lets you get into the main menu. You can change all of your color palettes. You can change reticles, the colors. All of those things are so easy. And that's the other thing. This thing has about 8 or 9 different color palettes. You'll find one you like. Now, personally, I like white hot and black hot. But you might like those great colors because they do make some good videos. A lot of people now are making outdoor videos. And I know everybody's into sharing their videos on Facebook and YouTube and all these different places. If you do that, that's another reason to buy this XP50, especially if you're on YouTube. YouTube is very competitive. People like to see those very, very clear images on YouTube. This will let you do that. They like to see success on YouTube. This will let you have success. This will make you a better hunter because you can see what you're aiming at. And yes, I know it costs a little bit more money, but if you're going to be in the thermal game, you're going to have to spend some money. Just think about it. You got a $1,000 rifle, you got a $70,000 pickup, you got a $20,000 RV hanging behind that pickup. Go ahead and spend the extra $1,200 and get the XP50 Thermion 2. You won't regret it. And the other thing, these things hold their value so well, even if you decide to sell it a year from now and just quit hunting, you're going to get most of your money back. Probably 80% of your money. When you have an electronic instrument that only depreciates like 20% over a year, I mean, that's a good buy. The other thing is that what makes this Thermion 2 is such a good image is that they've increased objective lens to a full 50 millimeter. They used to call it XP50, an XP50 when it was actually an XP42. The objective lens was only 42 millimeter, now it's 50. But you've got so many things going for this, I just had to tell you. And I know this is sort of a little bit different review, but that's just the way it is. If you want the best scope out there on the market, get an XP50. If you want the next best scope out there on the market, go ahead and spend another $4,500 and try that one. But for my money, I'll take a Thermion 2 XP50 day in and day out and not even care about, if there's anything out there any better because I know it won't be. I shoot a bolt rifle and a modern sporting rifle, so I have this Thermion mounted in this excellent American Defense mount. I can take it off, put it back on, and it won't change to zero. But if you shoot a bolt action primarily, you can just put this thing in a regular set of rings. You just take your present scope off your rifle, set this thing down here, and it fits real low to the barrel. You don't have to jack it up like I had to do with this one. I did this specifically because I'm running this American Defense mount. I put this cheek piece up there because I want to be able to switch them back and forth and not have to do any changes. But if you run a bolt action only for your thermal hunting rifle, I mean, I would take this thing and mount it down in maybe some worn quick detachable mounts. It's right down on the barrel. It's just like shooting through your regular daytime scope, and it's be really easy to change off and on. But either way you go, whether you mount it low in a set of regular rings or whether you put a detachable mount on it, it's going to work It's going to do the job, and you won't regret that purchase, I guarantee you. If you really want more information about all the specs and you want all of that, call Jason Robinson or Hans out at OutdoorLegacyGear.com. They'll be happy to explain all the specs and run through how to use it and let you compare it to some other scopes that they sell. But, you know, for my money, this is it. Coming up next, we're going to have a review of the Bearing Optics Super Hogster. I'm also going to do a review of a Lupo VX5. So thanks for watching the Old Deer Hunters. Come back and visit us. We're going to be working on some new loads, reviewing more scopes, and trying to help you out to save a little money. Thanks for watching.